996 Porsche Turbo. Or is it Porsche Turbo? I don't know. I've heard it both. So tell you what, in the comments below, we'll put Porsche and Porsche and just hit like on the one you think that it should be. And we'll see which one gets more likes. And subscribe. Cool videos like this, some trucks, some Land Cruisers, mountain biking, just fun stuff. All right, this is a 2004 Porsche 996. The one with the fried egg lights, that's right. I like it because I definitely like the droop here versus being the flatline one. And silver on silver, I think it blends in nice. It was only made on the 996 model and they went back to the oval lights. But I think right now, these cars are probably the least expensive turbos you can buy out of all Porsche lineup. But the prices will go up at one point, especially could be for those lights is one of the reasons. Now on this car, bone stock, they come 415 horsepower, but man, that's horsepower straight to a four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive wheels. So you cannot spin out those rears because it's front and rears all going at the same time. When I got this car, I did some mods. I changed the exhaust and I lowered it. As you can see, it's tastefully lowered. I don't like it when it's too low. You want to make sure you have a nice, I call it the 1 or 2 finger. This can't fit 2, can fit 1 finger. And that was inexpensive. You don't have to do these crazy mods on the suspension. I put H&R springs, which lowered it, I believe, 3/4 of an inch to that perfect spot. And that doesn't break the bank. Because the suspension system in a Porsche Turbo, guess what? It's not like entry level, it's high end, because these cars handled, best in the world at the time, and maybe even still today. Well, on their new models, of course. So that was a simple mod. The exhaust in the back, I think it was close to $2,000. And honestly, when I first did it, I did 3-inch, no muffler, 200 cats, and it screamed. In fact, it was so loud, I had to luckily use their exchange program, and I changed those out. It was just bouncing off the walls. If I would pass by a strip mall, I would just hear like there's a cup car. It was insane. So luckily I was able to exchange it for 2.5-inch pipes, 200 cat sat with a minor muffler on it. And now it just sounds very Porsche-esque, or Porsche-esque, just louder, right? So it's got that Porsche distinct sound, just louder when you go, full throttle and pin it. The wheels, these are the Vorsteiners. Nice little red to complement the red caliper. And that red caliper is OEM like that on Porsche, of course. And those are 19, so they fit nice. I think the 18s this car came with were too small. And I do have some 20s, and they're on rubber bands because it's such a big wheel. The 20s are Asantis. They're really nice, and it's deep dish. Oh no, sorry, they're not Asantis. I'm thinking about another car I've got. They are, I don't know what they are, but they're very thin 5-star, kind of like this. But the deep dish in the back takes a full dollar bill, not lengthwise, but the full 5.5 inch or whatever it is the lip. It's just such a huge lip. I'll post a video of that soon. I changed the front bumper. That's a Tech Art, and kind of cool with that. That's carbon fiber. And then did the Porsche kind of stickers that they do on one of their years that I saw. I copied it and just did the stripe there, and in the back as well. But when I did the exhaust, I also had this car chipped. So quick story on the chip. When I first got this car, everybody said, oh, the IBS, man, you got to be careful. That thing shreds and can destroy your engine, and you got to buy a new engine. So I was like, really? Did my research and found out the turbos did not have that system. So the turbos are bulletproof, as they say. Bulletproof. Except for a $3 hose that has your exhaust going into your coolant. So it's the coolant hose. And it goes from one metal to another. It wasn't very well thought out when they made it, and it's buried in that engine because those little Germans, they put that engine buried in there, right? They stuff it in the back. So when that happened, I'm like, okay, I just need a $3 hose and we'll get that all fixed up. No, it turns out you have to drop the engine. So Porsche wanted 20 grand to drop that engine and fix it. I'm like, a new engine's 25 grand, are you kidding me? A local Porsche guy wanted about 11 grand. And then I found a guy, all German auto down in San Diego, 4 grand to drop the engine and fix it. And what he does for a permanent fix, he knurls the end of that from the one, you know, metal to the other. So he knurls the hose, because the hose is, I guess, metal at the end. Some people pin it. I didn't like that idea. Some people just glue it into the bejesus, but he knurled it, you know, with the glue. So I did that, and it's been 8 years since, and this car is just awesome. But that, you know, when he dropped the engine, I said, well, let's change all the hoses. Well, we got the engine out, so $5 here, $10 here, $15 here. That added up, so soon we were at 7 grand, but my engine was just all updated, new hoses, all done. And I said, you know, I'm getting the car back in the same shape the minute before that hose, you know, peed out. So I got to do something. I want to feel like I got something for my money. So that's when we did the OEzm chip. And that OEzm, I think it's usually $1,500. He cut me a deal because he was doing all this work. So 7 grand later, I get the car back, but that OEzm makes this thing like a bat out of hell. So that added, between the exhaust and the OEzm, probably about 120 horsepower in all, 120, 130, and add that to the 415, you know, we're just shy of 550 horsepower, which to me is plenty. I didn't do headers, I didn't do other things. Those are the 2 mods that I did. You know, apart from aesthetics, that front bumper, like I said, is tech art. So, oh, one other mod I did, as we look at the interior before we get this thing cranked up and rolling. So it came with the white gauges. I like that. I just added that vinyl red there just to give it some touch, because inside, very basic, right? Very boring in these cars. But then I did the carbon fiber. 3,000 for the carbon fiber. 3,000 pennies, not dollars. Are you kidding me? Pennies. See the back seat? Carbon fiber. That's a wrap, my friends. So I did that myself. It took time, maybe 2 to 3 hours for both seats. I got the leather back so that tucks in nice and clean. I had a heat gun to get around all these curves. Look how it gets around that curve. But if you have one of these cars and you don't have the leather back seat, which I don't like so much, I like these, they're sport, they're lighter. But this, you know, underneath the vinyl is like a black weird material, almost got a rubberish component to it. So kids go back there, they scrape it with a shoe, it's marked. It's horrible. Like, here's at the time a $130,000 car at the dealership, and it has like weird back seats. So my solution, I put the carbon fiber so kids can scrape and scratch and do whatever they want to that. That thing's gonna hold up. And I did that 8 years ago. So here it is, still looking awesome. And people are tricked. They think that that's a carbon back seat. All right, I think that's all I gotta say. Let's get to the fun part. So we'll crank her over. We'll do some drive-bys. I think we got a cool canyon. We're gonna take this in going under oak trees in a place called Cook's Corner, for those of you who are local in SoCal. But I'm second owner on this, only has 60,000 miles. I love the cab. You know, if you're in a hot climate, why not? You can have the top up or top down. And it's a fun car. Still turns heads 16 years later and counting. All right, so let's go for a ride. got the top down here, so there might be some wind. Let's see. We might be able to get some good engine noise. And I think this BMW here wants to race. i3 battery. Well, he's way back there. So the new Porsches obviously have launch control and a quicker PDK. I could do an upgrade on this one for a Tiptronic that's faster. It shaves off like half a second, but I don't mind it. But this one, the power is very slow to react at the beginning, but all of a sudden it kicks in big time after that little lag, turbo lag as they call it. But still, 0 to 60, it's still fast. It's supposed to be 3.9. Since my mods, I think I'm at 3.6. But the mods don't. I get more reaction on my mods for sound, and going 30 to 100, it just flies. It'll compete with a brand new Porsche once it's rolling because of the lack of the launch control. All right, let's get into the canyons and have some fun. So the 996 Turbo Porsche, just click below what you think it should be. It's an awesome car, bang for the buck, can't be beat. Simple mod that you can do, obviously, is going to be the doing the chip, flashing it. OEzm is what I did. Changing your exhaust, that's going to cost you about $2,000. There's lots out there. I would stick to the 2.5 to 2 3/4 inch, but ultimately you can't go wrong. And the prices have bottomed out. They're only going to go up from here, is what I would have to say. When you hit that turbo, if you can hear this, I don't know if the video does it justice. It just sucks up all the air around you. Anybody standing close to the car will pass out because there'll be no oxygen. The Porsche's greedy, it takes it all. But those turbos are awesome. The boost went from like a 0.7 to now like a 1.2 boost. So you can imagine, it's almost doubled the boost by doing the chip. So awesome power plant. Hopefully you don't have the hose problem that I had. Otherwise, get it knurled. But can't go wrong. It's a car it's well built, it's robust. It doesn't have all the crazy electronics that the newer ones have, but no PDK. But the Tiptronic's all right. I can change my steering wheel for paddles if I want to. That might be next on the project list, and I'll post a video if I do so. But great car, can't go wrong. And again, 415 horsepower is going to be plenty for most, but for me, I boosted it up to just shy of 550, I'd like to say. So thanks for tuning in. Subscribe. Let us know if you think it's Porsche or Porsche. Let's put an end to this debate once and for all. And whatever the highest likes are for either Porsche or Porsche, that's the term I'm going to start using from this point onward. But yeah, tune in for more cool videos. There's one of my E55 and my FJ40 and just, you know, fun stuff, fun hobby stuff, mountain biking, all that. All right, well, happy trails. And if you get a 996, I think you are going to love it, as I do. And I'm not selling this thing ever. This is a keeper. All right, take care.